More, just a little more, just a little more.
And welcome to Just a Little More. This is Black Topics. Woo woo! We are so excited about tonight's discussion. We got some good, juicy, good, juicy talking points today. But just want to do a quick reminder about why we're here at Just a Little More. We're dedicated to getting just a little bit more information, just a little bit more tea, and a whole lot of love. We have our amazing panelists here today. Hey, everybody.
Hey!
Hey, we got Chantal, we got Maurice, and we got my sis Gary down there. And Gary, I'm going to throw it your way and let's get it started. Go.
What up, people? Happy Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday, so everybody hold up your glasses. Toast, cheers. Oh, Chantal, you actually have a cocktail today.
Oh, don't do it.
Don't do me, Gary.
Happy Thursday, everybody. We're going to get into the segment Blackity Black topics, everything impacting Black culture from politics all the way to anything, public music, all pop culture things. So we're going to dive right in and talk about verses with Patty and Miss, what was her name?
Oh, don't you do Gladys. Don't you dare.
Tread.
So what was so funny about all this is I've never been a preference of either one of these ladies. Like, I think they're legends, I think they're divas, but I've never it's never been, Ace, you already know my diva. But what did y'all think about the verses? It was great to see over 500,000 people though. Like, the divas brought in a crowd, like a really good crowd of people. What did y'all think about it?
Well, it was Patty. It was Patty. Patty, somebody loves you, baby. Listen, Patti LaBelle. Okay, I love Gladys Knight. They both are legends, literally, for real. But Patti LaBelle is my everything. And so just seeing her sit there and knowing, like she was just talking about how sad it was that she hasn't been doing live concerts, because you have to see Patti LaBelle live. Like, it's nothing like it. So just to be able to see her sit there with Gladys, two living legends, and just singing some of their greatest hits, you know, and Patty just throwing them out, hit after hit after hit after hit. I was like, girl, I love you. I was crying. I did everything. She's amazing. She kicked her shoe off and hurt her knee. I was like,
I know. It was great.
It was so good. I was like, Patty,
oh my God,
we need you. Oh my God, it was amazing.
Those voices, though, like, you know how still, like, there are current artists who cannot even touch Patty's range, not even the hem of Patty's range. It was phenomenal. Like, and Gladys, she has a lower register, but she was going there.
She still had, you know what the funny thing with Gladys was, every song she was slaying those vocals, but then afterwards she was talking about that wasn't her key.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you got it.
I was like, no, you got it. The one who didn't have it was Dion.
The talking cigarette. I'm sorry.
I think Dion was just happy to be in the number. I would go say, because she was sitting there, Gladys and Patty were going back and forth. She just in the middle.
She just had
and gave a little ad lib here and there.
You know what, I will say what was great about it, and Maurice, I really want you to dive into this. You know, it really became like a culture thing, right? Like, people started cooking food.
Oh my God.
Like, it became a real situation, like, amongst Black Twitter and Black culture. What was that about, Maurice?
I think it happened even before Gladys and Patty released those videos.
Yeah.
You know, people were on Twitter talking about, for the Patty Gladys versus, what y'all cooking. And, you know, just everybody running down the list of the soul food and everything. And then they sealed the deal, like, that the day before. And I wasn't even planning on cooking myself. And then I'm like, oh.
Cooked? What you mean?
Okay, so, you know, I'm doing keto right now, but I still hooked it up. I roasted a whole chicken and I did a pot of greens. Oh, and I think that was actually my first time doing collards without the help of my mom. So, I mean, they were on point. And I did like a keto friendly mac and cheese. So it was pretty much my mac and cheese recipe, but just with I use cauliflower instead.
Oh, and that mac and cheese.
Black folks don't come for me. Trust and believe. Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah,
they've had it. They've had my mac and cheese.
It's really good.
But I'll tell you what else I really liked about it. Music aside, because for starters, I will talk about music for a second. I loved how they sang live.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they first started talking about these verses, back at the beginning of, I guess it was back in the spring. My understanding at that point was that, these artists are getting together to sing some of their songs. The first one I watched was the Jill Scott, Erykah Badu one. And I'm like, wait, so they're just sitting here playing their music? I could have put a playlist together and had a cocktail and done this myself. So they gave us a real concert, and I appreciated that.
And sounded like their songs. Like they sounded exactly like the songs they recorded years ago.
I tell you what, I think Gladys set Patty up. Gladys came ready to sing live. I don't think Patty did.
No.
Yeah.
Patty gets paid. Patty I only get paid.
Right. But the conversation that they had in between each song, I thought that was it reminded me of, you're at a family reunion or something and two great aunts get together and they're catching up and everything. I was like, wow, we finally have a seat at the table to listen to grown folks' business.
Yes.
That's exactly what that felt like to me. And so I think that everybody, Black folks all around the country, I think felt a little bit at home.
Yeah.
Just listening to them talk. And that was the most special thing to me. It was, like you said, it was a true culture. It was for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Everything leading up to it, surrounding it, and the night of. My heart was filled by the end of the night. Even Dion remembering every other word to her song. I loved it all.
When she walked up there, I said, oh my God.
Dion.
But it was great. Oh my gosh. All the songs, even though it's not our generation, but we've heard all those songs and Jonathan old songs. So
I love them.
So all those songs, it was just so soothing and it just put you in a mood, It was so awesome.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a lot of positive and beautiful things happening in Black culture right now.
Mm-hmm.
And shifting to that, P Valley. Now listen, y'all have been on this P Valley thing with urgency. I have not been able to sit down and really watch it yet. I've just been watching interviews and stuff, but it's almost like a stripper novella. What the hell is going on with this thing? And have you had time to look at it, and what are your thoughts about P Valley?
I love it.
I just want to say, I love this show, y'all. This show has turned my whole perspective, has shifted my whole perspective on dancers, pole dancers, strippers, exotic dancers, whatever you want to call them. It is not just, I'm just dancing in the club. It is an art. It is a sport. It is a livelihood. It is so many things. And this show just wraps it all into one. It shows you every aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
We hear all about, I'm going to school and I'm stripping to pay for school and this and yeah, you could do that too. But then there are some people who are really passionate about this and they train for it.
Yeah.
And they really put their all into it to make it a career. And P Valley, we're gonna dive deeper, but it is an amazing show.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Chantal got me hooked. Literally, she told me, she's like, y'all need to watch this. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, girl. And then I looked at it. I watched it in 2 days. I watched the full season in 2 days.
You finished it.
It's 8 episodes, so you can. It's quick.
It's quick.
Okay.
But it's great. It's great entertainment, great writing, great storytelling.
Yes.
It's like poetry. Literally, it's like poetry.
Yeah.
Gary, I think that you listen. I've only watched the first episode. I watched it last night. And Gary, we've talked about this with other shows where we like how they kind of set the stage for things that happen later. That first episode gives you so much.
Yeah.
And it really pulls you in. It gets you wanting to come back for more. Mm-hmm. I mean, these are some characters on that show.
Yes, Uncle Clifford. I live for him. I love him. I love her. I love him so much. so much.
Jonathan, we're sitting there in Jonathan's living room. Uncle Clifford comes on screen and Jonathan goes, yeah, Uncle Clifford. Oh my God, who is she? Who went on Instagram, started following the actor.
Yes, immediately, because the power that she possesses when she comes on stage. It's just literally, and you know, she was the only cast member that was in the live stage play that was been asked to be on the series. And we know why. Because she's that amazing. Literally, she commands the stage. Her presence needs to be seen because there's so many non-gender conforming people out there that are supportive of just people in general who are strong, who are standing strong, and who are literally allies for so many people. She was allies for all of those strippers. She knew all their stories. She really kept the pink open for them.
Yeah. And that's what's important about this show. It just wasn't about making money or just dancing. There was a support system that they built at the Pink. And it was beautiful to see because each character has their own thing that's going on. Come to this club, they are family and they have one goal. And
yes.
Has all these different rules, and so we come to this club and we gonna shake it. That's what we gonna do. Make the paper, and that's
guys. Here. I want to know. There's been sort of this like obsession in our culture with strippers. I mean, and we can go all the way back to like Players Club era, right?
Yeah.
Players Club with Lisa Ray Diamond, and then you talk about it was the big impact with Hustlers that happened with Jennifer Lopez last year. What is the difference here, like in P-Valley? Because I feel like it feels very different from anything that we've seen in a really long time when you talk about strippers. So I just want to know from each of you, what is the difference in this show?
To me, it humanizes the characters.
Oh yeah.
Like you realize these are humans that have real life situations. They weren't forced into stripping. They didn't be like, some of them chose it, they love it. Like the Mississippi character, Emma Crickler, she loves it. She loves having the followers. She loves everybody coming to see her. It was a big deal for her to be on the main stage as Mercedes, who's the big character who is, if you ain't dancing like Mercedes in your life, you need to go take a class. Because Mercedes is teaching the children. She's teaching them.
Oh yeah.
But literally, she loves it. Where you have the counter where you have Mercedes who's trying to get out, who really is trying to create a life for her family, who's trying to create another business. So you have the spectrum of characters who like, oh, I love this, I'd give it, it's everything, to the characters who like, I really want to get out and I want to have another life. It just humanizes. These are people.
Yeah, every last character felt human, felt real.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Like you knew, like it wasn't. In Hustlers, you watch it's an okay movie, and you're like, okay, but you weren't connected to them. You don't.
Which is a shame, since that was based on a true story.
Right. I didn't feel connected. I didn't feel like they were real. It felt like, oh, okay, they're telling a story. But this, I feel like Keyshawn, Mississippi is like for real. Like she's a real person. Like I've met Keyshawn, in these streets in Atlanta. I've met her. So that's how it feels. You connect to them in a different way.
Yeah.
And I'll just add on to that. I mean, like I said, I've only seen one episode, but from what I've seen, everything they say is exactly what's going to play out these next 7 episodes. Everybody has a story. These are all complex characters. We're all complex people. And I think that it really was just, intoxicating to just see that all kind of on screen. So I can't wait to dive into it further.
I got to tell you, we brought up Uncle Clifford earlier, and I will say it is great to see a Black, like and I mean Black as far as like skin color, like Black man, gender non-conforming, effeminate, but not seen in a weak way, right?
Yes.
It comes in the room as a very like powerful force. And I think it's so different in our culture when you start talking about masculinity and femininity, right? And sort of these two things sort of conjoining like as one. Like, talk to me about just culturally what his impact, Uncle Clifford, this character, what that does, I think, for masculine and femininity for us. What do you think?
I think that what it does is it just, when you see somebody, like what I like about his character from what I saw in episode 1, listen, if you step out and exude that confidence, people have no choice but to show you respect.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I think you know, seeing a character like that right now, I think is really empowering and should be empowering to a lot of people, especially younger folks who might be just questioning who they are and what they, you know, what they have to offer and everything. You know, this is somebody who, you know, would just, you know, if they came out and showed any kind of weakness, they get chewed up and spit out. And so I think that's one of those things where it's just like, know who you are and, you know, show that and be confident in that. Folks have no choice but to respect you. And that's what I get from Uncle Clifford, and I can't wait to see more of him.
Yeah, and his like the security that is around him. Nobody in there is like calling Uncle Clifford out of his name. No one is making fun of her. No one is saying anything that is degrading to her in her circle. Excuse me. But it shows you that, just like Maurice said, when you stand in your truth, stand in your own power, and you know who you are, nobody can tell you different. And people will accept you. And they accept her, and they love her, and they go to her, and she's a boss. Like there's no gray areas. It's like, you do this for me and you better do it, or, you know, suffer the consequences. And we never see Uncle Clifford beat anybody up, pull a gun on anybody. We never see it. It's just, this is what you're going to do, and
just commanding that respect.
Yeah, you just command it, and they fall in line. That's it.
And it wasn't out of the norm. I think it was so good to see Uncle Clifford go out with full gun, and not even like the mayor. Nobody was just like, "Oh my God, who is this?" You know, they were just like, "Okay, hey, Clifford." That's how, you know, really, if you live in your truth and people are around you, they just accept it because they know it. He never once said, "I am gay America, look at me." He just walked in his truth. Walking in the truth, and you know, everybody just, you know, even if you didn't want to accept it, you had to respect it.
Exactly.
I think that's the beautiful thing about art in that way, is that we're able to attach ourselves like in that way. Like, you can't help but, if you're feeling insecure or not confident, look at characters like that and think, damn, I gotta get my shit together, because these people are really showing up in like a real way. And I just think about people that we see every day that's like an Uncle Clifford, that, you know, it takes a lot. Like, we think we have it easy walking around we have it very difficult the way we walk around, but imagine the sort of guts that it takes to walk around that way as himself or herself. And I love that they use that gender pronoun her, because it's challenging us, even like in public, like in an interview. It's even with us, it's like we always correcting it. This idea of gender is so cool. And so what do you think our obsession, not obsession, but what do you think, why is it important to correctly identify and not misgender people in our communities? What is that? Why is that important?
Oh my God, it's so important.
If they are accepting of who they are, why can't we?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
With everything that's going on, with all the criticism that can come with it, with all of the hate that can come from it, and still stand in your truth and still step out as you, we should be able to, you know, say the pronouns correctly.
It does us no harm to do it right.
It does us no harm. And
I love that. It does us no harm to do it right.
And if we do it, if we make a mistake, correct yourself. It's okay. Correct yourself and move on.
Yeah. And even if you don't know, ask. Sometimes I ask, you know what I'm saying? Because dealing with the public, I don't ever want to misgender anyone. So I'm always like, what do you prefer? What are you most comfortable with? Because they also may not know yet.
Right.
Absolutely.
They also may not know yet. And so that gives them the chance to be like, I prefer this. And then we move forward. And that's it. I ain't making no big deal about it. We're going to move forward. Yeah.
And what I liked about Uncle Clifford was that even when they misgendered her, she was like, okay, whatever, moving on. I know I am. And you'll get it right one day, maybe not today, but that's all right, because Uncle Clifford, she gonna do what she needs to do.
Listen, speaking of identity and knowing who you are and standing in your truth, we've been remiss not to talk about Andrew. Is it Gilliam, Ace, or Gillum?
Gillum.
Gillum. There was a lot of news broke earlier this year about him being found like vomiting. It was a suspected overdose that happened. And it was a very salacious story. And so there was a sex worker there. It was meth in the room. And so it's really been like, I guess, a rough journey for him. And so the piece now, like talking about it publicly, this is a married, someone in politics, married, has a whole Black family, Black, beautiful wife. And so this like
was about to be governor.
Was about to Miss Ace. Well, how many
close.
points? How many?
It was a half of a percentage point.
Yeah, he was about to be governor.
I mean, he was taking off. Now, I remember I used to always tell Maurice, he fine. Like I used to always think Andrew was fine. And so, you know, he's been quiet for a while, but Tamron Hall, right, has a show and he did an exclusive interview, him and his wife. And so he's now come out as bisexual. And so him and his wife were on there and talking about, you know, the situation and just how it was theirs and it was their agreement and all this stuff. First of all, what do you think about him coming out as bisexual?
I don't really give a damn. I want to know what specifically happened in that room. You know, that's my story.
That's a little more tea. I want to know
that. Right. I mean, I'll start at the beginning. I think that he did himself more harm by not getting ahead of this thing earlier. And I think that, you know, he let too much time pass. And so, you know how sensationalist people are on social media and everything. Everybody's going to concoct their own theories and their own stories about it. And I mean, and remember, like Tamron didn't even ask him any of this, right? Like he gave up that information on his own. And it, you know, in a way it reminded me of, it's not quite the same thing because there was no like, you know, misconduct. Well, it was a different kind of misconduct. But you remember when, who was it? Kevin Spacey, you know, came out as gay after everything came out. Just kind of like awkward to like kind of pivot there. It's like that really has nothing to do with, you know, what all happened. Well, in a sense,
with pictures of you being naked and vomiting on the floor. That's
right. That's the bigger scandal here. Like, what led to that?
Yeah. He waited too long. Like no one. This is like the same thing. Like with people are like, oh, Niecy's a lesbian. Niecy Nash is a lesbian, and blah. And it's like we don't care. We really don't care. Things like that are not going to make big headlines like they used to. And with everything else that's going on, way to go, coming out now, like, I mean, no one is going to care. And like you said, we care about what happened in that room. And I think he's coming around to say that he's bisexual. He's coming out now so that we don't keep digging into that. But it's too late. Like, you're not going to be the governor of Florida. It's over for you. Everything is done for you.
Well, do you think it's over for him?
It's over. It's over.
He's going to bounce back. I mean, listen, he's a young guy. As far as politics goes, he's 41 years old. It'll take a little while.
Nobody heard bisexual.
I mean,
they heard gay. Nobody heard bisexual.
And that is the point of topic and point of conversation. Yeah. Bisexuality was an area of growth for me as a gay man. And so I know, like, culturally, we do have like this stigma around bisexual people. Bisexual people marry opposite, same all the time. And it's not a conversation we really have because we always think bisexual people are greedy or they're freaks or they're this. And so I think it is a larger conversation to have just about how we treat bisexual people. I think one of my issues was the fact that it seemed like a cheating situation, and like you were stepping out on your wife, like with an escort. So I think that was the bigger issue for me. But I think culturally, when we talk about bisexual people, all they heard was gay. What is that about? That's not what he said, but all we heard was he's gay. Is it because he sleeps with men?
Yeah, because I'm for real. Literally, I know in Black culture, I can just speak from Black culture. Sometimes they really only hear gay. You sleep with a dude, you gay. You can't be in the same space. You can't love both equally. You are gay. And I just think that that's a real thing. I remember Insecure did an episode one time where this guy posed to Molly. He was like, yeah, I slept with guys in my past. And she was like, she couldn't get past it. And he was like, I did that in my past. I'm bisexual. It's cool. It's something I enjoy. But, you know, I'm with you right now. And she could not get past it because all she saw was this gay man and the gay part of it. That's just really the truth.
Exactly. And I think in 2020, we've just got to like really get past that.
Yes.
I think that, you know, when people tell me what their sexuality is, I pick up what they put down. If they tell me they're bisexual, okay, if they tell me that they've done something, you know, because we've got a lot of friends, right? Like, you know, a lot of our gay friends have slept with women in the past. Okay. I mean, you know, shut up, Joyce. But like, I don't know. For me, it's just like, I think that what people see, because, you know, we've all had that. It's like, you know, say you're talking to somebody that's like, that opens up about being bisexual, and say you're a straight woman and they're male, you know, for whatever reason, you know, it doesn't matter if it's like what you're not, like, say it was, you know, the guy wanted to go out and sleep, you know, mess with another girl or something while they're still getting to know each other. You know, it's like almost like that just comes to be expected. Mm-hmm. But if they happen to, like, you know, want to talk to a guy or something like that, then that just cuts so much deeper. I don't think it's the same thing with gay guys, right? Like, or gay women. Like, you know, say you meet up with somebody who says they're bisexual, and it probably wouldn't sting as much if, like, they were interested in somebody from another, you know, somebody from the same sex. But like, if they went and got up with a man or a woman, it's a big deal. And you're right. I just think that it's one of those things where people just have to open their minds up about this. Yeah. People just are attracted to people. You know, that's what it sounds like to me when someone says they're bisexual. And I think his wife even said in that interview, you know, opening up that sexuality exists on a spectrum. It absolutely does.
That was a script. Sis is done. She's upset. Sis is upset.
Listen, I would love to see what those closed doors.
She's over it. She's like, we got to stay together, you know, so let me get this script out, you know.
Ultimately, at the end of it all, he embarrassed her.
Yes.
He embarrassed her and all this time, and now we have to relive this again.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like all these months later, it's like reopening that wound.
Like, why do we have to go back here again? Like, that's what her face, that's what it looked like. Like,
oh God.
Here you are embarrassing me again. I knew who you were. I know who you are. Why do we have to keep doing this? And I think that's what's not going to bring him back into politics, is that people are going to look at him as a liar, as a cheater, not just as bisexual or gay as well, because people are confused. People are still confused whether we like it or not. People are like, I don't understand how this, that, and the third, how can you be bi? People don't get it. We are in a community where we understand it. Like, people outside of our community don't get it. They're like, I don't understand what that means.
And a drug addict. I mean, we not.
Yes. Well, he's trying to run in Florida. That's a conservative state. Like,
yes, they're red. He's not going to win.
He's done.
I mean, you know, as far as, you know, I wasn't, when I said
I'm intrigued what you think politically. Like, does he have like a chance of recovery?
I mean, what I was saying earlier, I wasn't necessarily saying that he'll run for office again, but he'll have a political career in some capacity. Yeah. It's going to take some time for him. He's going to have to take a step back and really figure this out. And I'm eager to follow his story and see where he goes next or what happens. But, you know, Chantal, like you were saying, I really do feel for that wife. Because, you know, and I've seen her, you know, even back when he was running, I'm like, she's a good old gal. You know, she, you know, and so for her name to kind of be tied up in that mess, I'm just like, you're right. You can see it on her face. I'm like, oh, geez, it's awful.
We sort of have this obsession with celebrity couples, right? And sort of what they go through and how we're sort of entitled to information about them, and sort of this idea of exposing things, right? I mean, when you look back at the whole entanglement situation with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, she didn't shit. That wasn't her story. She was sort of forced into talking about something that's a very private matter. And even though I can't lie, I love it. I think this is just like juicy as hell.
Yeah.
We do have this sort of obsession with you're entitled to these people's story, and we're really not.
I mean, I think it just kind of comes with, right. Listen, my thing is this. It comes with the territory. You're going to throw yourself out in the public eye, then you get everything that comes with it.
Come on.
You know,
listen, they don't have to say anything. Like, okay, first of all.
No, it's very true. They don't.
They don't have to say anything. Yeah. There are celebrities who go through so many different things and never say a thing. We never hear about it.
Rihanna.
Beyonce. Yeah, Beyonce.
Oh, Beyonce will get
PR. Well, I said
Beyonce
PR first. Thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chantal.
Rihanna. So, but yeah, like you don't have to say anything. They choose to bring us into it. And so here we are, and we love it, and we eat it up.
Yeah,
Right.
Queen Latifah
I was
not
gonna say
saying nothing.
they aired the whole interview on TV.
Latifah has said nothing.
She has said nothing. People like, oh, we seen you with your. She be like, come see my movie. She said nothing. Don't even ask her that on an interview. She be like, because you choose what you want to put out there. Come on, you in the public. Come on, we want to see.
I do have a question though. One of the final points is just about relationships and marriage. I mean, for you, is we all can create different rules in our relationships, right? And you can do whatever you want to do. For you, is monogamy the choice? Is monogamy the way we've learned it and positioned it? Is that the choice for you?
Yes, for me.
Okay.
You know, the older I've gotten, the more I'm a Charlotte, and so yes.
Yeah, I've gotten older. I'm just like, I need to know. For me, it's safety. I do not want to be coughing, itching, anything. I do not. I'm not gonna be like Andrew Gillum's wife. I'm not gonna sit there and look pretty. I'm gonna mess you up. And so don't do that. Don't do that to me in my spirit. Don't do that. So yeah, monogamy is the way for me to know. If I itch, you itch, we got it from each other. That's what I need to know.
Oh, wait, so did they have an open relationship?
No,
she didn't say that.
They didn't answer that question.
Right. I was going to say, I think that's what kind of annoyed me about what I heard of that interview.
Right.
Listen, I don't need you to sit here and talk in abstract about this situation. If you're going to get back on camera about this months afterward, I want the full story. Beginning, middle, and end.
Come on.
Right. I don't want to have to read between the lines or anything like that. No, seriously. You know, if you're going to sit, get candid with folks, really get candid with folks.
Yeah.
The whole interview, honestly, I think muddied the waters more than anything. They should have, like y'all said, just kept their mouths shut. It died down. I had damn near forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And then here they are wanting to sit down with Miss Tamron all this time later.
Tamron is so beautiful, though, by the way. I love that she started this partnership with OWN. I think it's really cool. I was kind of nervous that she wasn't going to have like a platform, but she's such a great journalist. So I'm really excited that she gets the chance to be on the OWN network. The OWN network's doing some things.
It is. It's staying afloat. It is definitely doing it. I mean, it's thriving, not staying afloat. It's thriving.
Yeah. Listen, well, that is our round of Black Topics. We are excited. I know it's over, but we're coming back next week, right? Next week we will be here. Every week we'll be here with some Black Topics. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Chantal. Hopefully they'll be here next week too. I hope y'all gonna be here next week. Yes. Hopefully, yes. I love you. But we're so excited about you guys tuning in for Just a Little More. Thank you for all. Remember to like, subscribe, share, send it to your friends, and let everybody know about Just a Little More. Love you. Bye.